Ireland, my Ireland, oh, I'm coming home. Though I roam, sure my heart never left her. O'er the dark rolling sea, she is calling to me. Oh, I'm coming back home to Ireland.
Get Míle Fáilte 100,000 welcomes to Irish Paint Magic. Today we're going to go down to the south, down to County Kerry, to Muckross House in Killarney. So I want you to come up with me onto the old canvas till I show you what I've done. So what I've got here is the 24, the standard 24 by 18 canvas, the one that I use for television purposes. And I can't stress it enough again, look, you can use any size that you wish. And what I've done here was I got some black gesso, and I got the brief, just the bare outline of the mountain in the background here, and there's a few trees there. I don't know what kind of trees they are, I'm no good at trees, but they're kind of fir trees, that's what I call them. And then there's all shrubs all over the place down here. We're actually going to the gardens of Muckross House, which is out on the Kenmare Road. Okay, so there's all different types of shrubs and shrubbery all over the place, and people walk out and in and out through the gardens. But really what I want to show you is different types of colouring and shrubs and that type of thing, to try and make your life a little bit easier. How it'll work, I don't know, but we'll have a go at it anyway to see. First thing I've got to do now is get my liquid clear, or magic clear, and I cover basically all that area except that little bit on top. So now you can hear me again rubbing it into the fabric, and that's all I need to do. Up here then I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid white, sparingly. Whatever you do, just do it sparingly. I can come down now a little bit. We don't have the director of programs here now in this brand new studio. It's just cameraman only and myself. It's amazing how relaxed everybody, but he was like a thunderstorm this morning. He came in, he gave out, after spending $2.5 million in new studios, he made me change my clothes, wanted me to wear slippers in case I damage his carpet. And he's upstairs now anyway, thanks be to God. Oh, like a thunderstorm. Anyway, they had a bad night. Now, there's the canvas prepared. So the canvas is all prepared now. It can slip and slide like a skating ring. So all I got to do now is get in a bit of a sky, bit of black, a little bit of crimson, small bit. Be careful of the crimson because it can take over your sky. But it warms up the blue as well, and but you have to be awful careful with it. Now, there we go. Right across the top, into that whole corner there, to stop your eye from running off of the canvas. Anyway, I told him that we don't have any slippers in Cork. So I asked him, could I borrow his ones? We went off in a storm then. Now, here we go, right down in between the trees now I'm going to go with this colour. But I'm putting it very light, so you can actually more or less see through it. It's translucent or transparent, you can see in through it. And that's what we want, little bits here and there, not a whole lot at all. Very little sky at all. And letting it peep through, let it peep through there. So I'm going to get titanium white on the fan brush and load both sides of it. And I'm going to push up. There you go. Thank you. And move on. Don't stay in the one spot. Keep moving. You don't want to stay in the one spot. Now I'm going to put a blaze of light down in here through the trees as well, little bits, without going to any great trouble. And they'll be covered up again later. A lot of this will be covered up. Just in case the little bits that don't, we will see little bits peeping through later on. And that's what we want. Another little bit now, but I don't want to overdo this here. At the back of the mountain, and that will make the mountain stand out with counter change where one colour will jump out against the other. And now I'm going to stop. Get my 2-inch brush and very gently go across to it, whisper to it, and ask the clouds to sit down. Sit down, please. Sit down, please, Mr. Cloud. Sit down over Muckross House in Killarney. Thank you. Over the gardens, beautiful gardens. And I'm going to stop. So I'm going to make up a kind of a bluey, dirty blue colour. There's blue, either phthalo blue or titanium or phthalo blue, but make sure you tone it down. I'm after putting a bit of green into it, but maybe I should shove that aside for now. And I start again with another little bit of blue. Don't need a whole lot. I'm going to put a bit of Van Dyke brown into it to tone it down, to dirty it. And very little, I'm mixing up very little. So I leave it go at that now because I only want a small little bit. So I switch to my filbert blue brush, filbert, and I go up here and I shove the sky back then. I ask the sky, go back there now, Mr. Sky, go back. Thank you. And then let that run on down there, up here, there you go. Don't go to any great trouble with it. Now I'm going to go down into the valley here. Down into the valley with the same brush now, but there's very little paint on it. And it's going to mix with the little bit of white I had here. I want to create the illusion of kind of a mist in the valley. Okay, right down. Just to give it a little bit of distance, and then we'll try and do something else with it. Okay, the same will apply there. That runs in at the back of the trees there, look. Up and down and up and down. No. And that's fine. And that's grand. Now I'm going to, it's quite up here, it's, you know, it's definite colour. And as you go down, then it gets lighter in here because a little bit of pollution or whatever. So what I'm going to do now is going to mix maybe a little bit more green down in the valley there. I have the sap green and a bit of cad yellow with it. And not a whole lot now, I'm a bit, there's a lot of growth up along here. And then we'll soften it down again. And still I don't want to lose that. I don't want to go up too high. And still I don't want to lose that flare that's down here. But remember, the growth won't go all the way up the mountain anyway. And now I'm kind of going with the lay of the land now. Going with the lay of the land. But at the same time, I don't want to lose the flare at the bottom. There's just the illusion, lots and lots of trees in Killarney. Oh, there's thousands of trees there in the national park. Really beautiful. That's where all the Irish, beautiful Irish red deer live and everything like that. Lovely. They come down to drink. I often see them there in the lower lake and that, if you're out on the boat drifting without the engine, nice and quiet, no talking, and you'll come across them. They come down for a drink. Now, when they see the old cockfillet in the mosey back, I'm going to go very gently over this. Very gently, I'm hardly touching it. I just want to create a little illusion of foliage there in the bottom of that. That's grand. Pulling that down. Okay. Now I'm going to mix up a darker colour, which would be maybe Van Dyke brown would nearly do on its own here, you know. I'll mix that green I had left over in with it. Just Van Dyke brown. I put a bit of green into it, so it'd be an olive green. Okay, not too much this time, mostly to the Van Dyke brown side. So I go into that colour, the Van Dyke brown and the green mixed. And I'm going to come this way, and I'm going to up here, and here. Now, before I go any further, I need to get a little bit in there to hide that area there, because that's going to be much darker in there. So I'm going to come in here like this. There's shrubberies and trees and things there before I start to hide them. And yet I don't want them to stand out too much either. Lots of things happening. Now this is pushing the mountain back. Pushing the mountain back now. Go back now, Mr. Mountain, for me, please. Because I'll have a bit of a headache if you don't. And I'm pushing up now with the brush. Pushing up against itself. Lots of rhododendrons and everything around here. Now I'm going to go into a little bit of cad yellow. I need to highlight. Now the green is on the brush, so it'll be quite dirty. It won't be the cad yellow as such. And I need to highlight some of that stuff here. So I'm going to push up. And yet I don't want it to be too bright for the moment, because it's further back. All that kind of stuff is further back than the other stuff here that's in front. But at the same time, there's lots of little things happening there. All this colour comes up. Things happening in there. And now I'm going to let it go right down to the bottom there. Actually, to be much darker than the bottom. Just there. I'm going to darken that there. That's where the old bunny rabbit will live in there, okay? Not a whole lot of detail at all yet, okay? Not a whole lot. Now I can go back to the trees. And I get they'll push that back. And I'm going to go zoom. Another one here, zoom. Here, zoom. Another one. Big tall trees. All I know them to be is fir trees, or conifers, I suppose, whatever. Ireland, my Ireland, they come on down. Just going to make a small bit of white, a little bit of yellow ochre, and a small bit of sienna, just to put a little bit of light on one side of those here, without going to any great trouble now. I'm just going to hit the sides, because the light will catch part of that. It won't run all the way up. Anyway, just catch the edge there. And here, to catch the edge, the tree there. Just the trunk of the tree now it's going to catch. And here, and here. A lot of this is going to be covered up again now. So you don't go to any great detail, because it's going to be covered up anyway. But where the light would come through, it would catch part of those. Go back to the dark brush and the dark paint, and there's a lot of this here that's going to be filled in. So those trees kind of come out like this. Not a whole lot of branches on them. They're kind of spiky and they hang down and that kind of way. And that's pushing the old sky back now. From here. Just tapping in, twisting the brush kind of slightly. They hang way down there. Yeah. A whole family of trees, the mammy, the daddy, and the whole lot of them, the uncles and the aunts, they're all there together and have been there for a long, long time, looking down onto the beautiful gardens of Muckross House. And here again, now I'm going to Just barely, barely. I'm going to go up a little bit now because they might go up a little bit further there. I'm going to barely, barely highlight some of those, but barely only. So I'm going to get back to the green and the cad yellow. Don't want them too bright. Don't want them too bright at all. And a little bit now, the sun will catch part of them, look. And be careful now, because this is where people fall into the trap. There. Treat every tree individually and mind the dark then. There's actually more dark than lighter. And here, when your man came in this morning, he was such a thunderstorm. There was two of the cameramen ran. I haven't seen them since. They said they were going out for a puff. I don't know where they are. Now here we are again. And this is pushing everything back now, pushing everything back. And again here. And again, without going to any great details at all, leave it go at that. Over here, back into the dark colour. There. Go back there now, Mr. Mountain. Could nearly use the fan brush here again, because that has to be broken up. This is all, I don't know, shrubbery. And that will all fill in there. Right down and start to shove that tree back. And again now I'm going to highlight some of that. And again, not so bright, not so bright. But I will start to introduce little bits of colour now. And at the same time I'm going to mind the dark. There's lots of colour here now. But what I've done here now is there's rhododendrons, there's everything growing all around here. All colour in the gardens. But what I've done is I doubled and triple loaded the brush. And these are heading on down now this way. On down and down. Wiping the brush. A little bit of a flare there as a divider between, just between the and going back into the darker colour, the green, and let that go right down and push that back there a little bit. But it's going in as a divider here between the light and the dark. And all I'm doing now is using the again, I better mix more of the dark colour. I'll be using quite a bit of it. There's the sap green and the Van Dyke brown, and again, half and half will give you a beautiful olive green, dark green, which is very suitable for the underlayer of the shrubs. Back into the dark colour. I'm going to start going into a bigger brush. Before I do that, I need to get in here. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of cad yellow, and pull across that, and that will push everything back. Go on back now for me. Thank you very much. Go on back. Thank you. That's lovely. This is just an exercise on colour, really. But if you want to see colour, come to Muckross House. Some of the light now will come right through the trees there, and some of it will be in shadow and more of it will be in light, okay? So don't go to any great trouble there. Now I'm going back here to shove this back here again. Dark colour again. Right down. And I'm going to pull that right down there and darken that in and pull that back. Here, there, that's better. And again now I'm going to push up to create a divider there. And now I'm going to switch, because my time is starting to run out and your man is starting to growl upstairs, even though he used to be probing me before, but he has an electronic gadget that you can't hear. It whistles in my ear. And, okay, I'm coming over to this side to speed this side of it up now, all right? So I'm going to come over here. There's lots of shrubs there, and that'll come on down there. Fill that in. And here I'm going to push up again. Now that's pushing the trees back now as well. Pushing the trees back. And again, I'm breaking that up and keeping it quite dark here in the base, especially on the base and down there as well. I'm going to go to the 1-inch brush here because this guy is going to blow a fuse. I'm going to pull this thing out. Cad yellow, mostly on its own. But I'm going to turn the brush upside down. I'm pulling it out flat, plenty of paint on the brush, pulling it out, and I turn the brush upside down. That's what I got to do. But there's all different colours here anyway, so we'll see what will happen. I'll run for the door if it doesn't work out. But anyway, here I'm going to push up. Lots and lots of lovely little things happening around there. Lots and lots of things happening there. Don't lose the dark, whatever you do. Down into the dark now, down into the dark. And again, back for more paint, turning over the brush. There's actually 2 or 3 different colours on the brush here now. And I go up here, and they're all coming up, nice flowery things happening. And just talk to them with a Cork accent. Whatever you do when you go to Killarney, for God's sake, don't talk about football. Or any part of Kerry. They'll drive you crazy if you talk about football. They know nothing else. I'd say when they go to church, there must be a football in the church. They just adore football. Now, back again, different colours. And I come to the side. And here we go again. Push up. Push up. Come on, Mr. Flowers and Shrubs. Come on down there for me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Down into the dark area now. Down into the dark. Don't forget the bunny rabbit. Very dark down the bottom. Very dark. Push up. And again now, down into the dark area. Down in, down in. Very dark now, very dark. Think of the bunny rabbit again. Down in there. Down in there. Go to switch now to the, back again now to the fan brush, because I've got to push them back. So I'll do that by pulling this way. Go back now, Mr. Shrub, for me. Thank you. Go back. Thank you. Into the painting. Thank you. But for God's sake, don't talk about football in Kerry. You'll be drove crazy. And they'll come up in relays to you, people. When I go there, I have to sneak in and out. And they see me, they think I'm stealing their footballs or something. I don't know why. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to lighten that again because the sun will catch part of that, look. The sun will catch part of that. Here. Not all of it now, be careful because you get bogged down in this. It won't catch all of it. So don't lose the dark. And here in the bottom now I'm going to push up again just to break that in there. And if I do this rough now, the gardener will get into trouble. He says he's not really manicuring the garden very well, but I'm just shoving up to break the base of it down a little bit. Now I have a small little surprise there, if I can find it. There was one there now. So in here I have the lady of the manor as she walks down the garden looking, you can imagine, if I was 40 years younger I'd be down holding that umbrella for her, but there'd be a little bit of a shadow there in the base of that. So I go for the dark green again here, and just there, look, that would come back that way. So it's just a colourful little thing. It's you'll get all these beautiful gardens out on the Muckross Road, go down, as you go to Kenmare Road, I should say. It's the same road anyway. And if you come out there, you'll get all these lovely beautiful gardens in Muckross House. It's renowned worldwide for its gardens. And there's rock gardens and water gardens, and it's part of a 10,000 acre estate, which is Killarney National Park. And also there's a craft centre. There's every kind of bookbinding, pottery, you name it, it's in here in Muckross House. And you'll actually, if you go into Muckross House and go up the stairs and look back up on the stairs, you'll find a distant relative of mine, a painting by a young man who is also Willis. Okay, he died tragically. He got drowned at a very young age, but he was very, very famous even at that young man. So until we meet again, got a míle maith Slán Leat, and God bless you all, my friends.
Ireland, my Ireland, oh, I'm coming home. Though I roam, sure my heart never left her. O'er the dark